is Lily Gupta and I'm currently doing first year BA. My hobbies are to read books, to play badminton, to be in nature.
So you have done your manual testing and automation testing from Sabedor, right? So now tell me something about software testing. What is software testing?
So software testing is to test the whole software and to check whether if there are errors or if the software is performing properly or not. There are types of software testing like positive testing, negative testing, Blackbox testing, Whitebox.
What is positive testing?
Positive testing is to check the software by providing valid data as input and checks whether it's behaving as expected or not.
Okay. And what is negative testing?
To provide invalid data as output and to check input and to check whether it's performing expected or not.
Now what is Whitebox testing and Blackbox testing?
Whitebox testing is to testing done with the internal logic and design. In Blackbox testing, it is done an analysis of requirement. In Blackbox.
So in Blackbox you perform functional testing, behavior testing.
Yes.
And in Whitebox?
Glass blocks testing, clear box testing.
So what you do actually in that?
Means to provide the requirements. In Blackbox it's like to provide the requirements of the software and to check the behavior.
Okay. And in Whitebox you have to test the code, right?
The reviewing test.
So
and that.
Basically you have to test the code of the software, right? Different conditions, loops, exception handling parts, you have to test in that. And tell me something about functional testing. What is functional testing? Is it a black box or white box?
Black box testing.
Black box testing. Example of functional testing? System testing is a functional testing or non-functional testing or both?
It's a both because in system testing both comes in functional as well as
functionality as well as non-functionality.
Yes.
Okay. So what is regression testing then?
Regression testing is test if new build or any configuration is added. So we check the whole software if it's properly working or not. We make regression test suites in this and to check the software is properly working and there are no error related to it.
Okay. So whenever there is any enhancement or
and
code change or configuration changes, in that case you perform regression testing. Okay. And what is sanity testing?
In sanity testing, when there is a new build added, so we check that new build if it's currently working so that we can continue with the remaining testing part in that.
So you can say sanity is a subset of regression testing. Okay. What is smoke testing?
No, I said it wrong actually. Sanity is when minor changes are added in the code. Then instead of doing the whole regression testing, we do sanity testing. And in smoke testing, when the new build or any changes we have to make, so we test the changes so that we can continue with the testing part.
Okay, so in smoke testing, you have to make sure that whenever
new build is added.
Yes, whenever there is new build, so before giving it to development team, you have to make sure that important functionality is working or not.
Yes.
That is called as smoke. Okay. So what is defect?
Defect is a mismatch between its application and its specification.
Okay.
So when we run any software and there are errors or if the code is not matching with the expected result, so it's a defect.
Okay. So how you will classify a defect?
So if defect comes, first we will track it and analyze.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about classification of defect. Low defect,
high defect,
medium defect, high
critical
defects.
Yes.
Okay. So what is severity of a defect?
Severity is the impact. Severity is a degree of impact of defect on software, and priority is the degree of order of defect on software.
Okay, so order in which you have to solve the defects from development team. Okay. So, will you tell me something about STLC? What are different stages which are involved in STLC?
STLC is software development life cycle.
Software development or software testing life cycle?
STLC, software testing life cycle.
Okay.
And different stages of that are so requirement gathering analysis, first stage, and then we have test design, test code, then
test design, then
test design, test code. Coding means test coding, then environment
So
setup.
first is you have to collect the testing requirement, right?
And
Next part is test design.
Test
Next
strategy.
Next one is environment setup.
Means
right?
2, then environment setup, then test execution, then defect tracking analysis, then final report and test
final
closure.
reporting and then test closure. What is that test execution actually? What we do in test execution?
In test execution, we execute the code or the software, the code or the program on the actual software, and we check if there are errors or not and if it's working properly or not.
Okay. So what is static testing and dynamic testing then?
Static testing, in static testing we do, it's related to coding design, code review, design review, and in dynamic to check the logical errors.
Means in static you perform reviews. And in dynamic you perform execution part. Okay, Lily. So what is test plan and what are different points you will consider while writing a test plan?
So test plan is a description of plan, means it consists planning, scoping of the project, and IEEE 829 is the format of test plan.
So there is a format of test plan which is IEEE 829. Okay, what is given in that IEEE 829
so
format?
In that we divide the code. We make the program in tests. So
I want points actually.
Introduction, scoping, planning, scheduling.
Schedule, okay.
Then reporting.
Okay. Roles and responsibilities, risk and mitigations, right?
Things to be
features
tested,
to be tested, features not to be tested. These are the parts, or we can say important points from test plan. Okay. So, what is entry criteria and exit criteria?
Entry refers to the input condition required for a process to.
Input conditions.
Yeah.
Okay.
To required for
what is exit criteria?
It's the exit criteria refers to the means our input conditions required output conditions.
Exit criteria is output condition.
Yes, to check its throughness and correct compatibility.
Correct completion. You can say, okay. Now, what is integration testing?
Integration testing means to add two softwares. Means to if
which types of defect?
In that we can have that interrelated defect and data management defect. We can have it. Means
so
when
after unit testing, when units are combined, you have to make sure that there are no interface errors, right? Yes. So errors which are on the interface of modules that you have to find out in integration testing. Okay. And next, what is system testing then?
System testing is to check the whole software and to check if it's if its requirements are done or not properly.
So overall system is tested. There are different tests.
Yes.
Okay. So now, suppose if you have to test the website, so what you will test from a web application? Suppose I want you to test a web application, then what points you will consider while doing web testing?
So first we will check all the requirements if
functionality, right?
Functionalities means if we click to log in, then all the usernames are valid.
Means you will check the functionality, right?
Yes.
Next part, what you will test?
Then if there are errors, we will make it a report and send it to the team.
No, I'm not talking about that. If you have to test a website or web application, then what you will test? As you said, you can test functionality, right? Next part, what you will test?
If it's not hang or something.
You will check the HTML part, whether HTML is proper or not, right?
Yes.
Next, what you will check? HTML, CSS. Next, you will check the compatibility
of the software,
right?
Okay.
You will check the cross-browser testing. Same software, IE पे चल रहा है, Mozilla पे चल रहा है कि नहीं, Chrome पे कैसे दिख रहा है, right?
Yes.
Okay. Windows पे चल रहा है, Mac पे चल रहा है कि नहीं. Okay. Next, you will check the cookies and sessions. What is session?
Session means if it's different time period, you can say.
Yes, time period, right? It's a link between client and server, right? So every time when client connects to the server, what server do? Server creates a session. Session ID. The link between client and server is called as session. You will check also cookies. Cookie part. What is cookie?
Means to give.
Cookie is a small text file, right?
Text file, yes.
Next, you will check authentication part
and
of that website.
authorization.
Authentication means security part,
yes.
right? Usability part.
Maintenance.
वो website easy to use है कि नहीं, easy
yes.
to learn है कि easy to understand है कि नहीं, that is called as usability, right?
Yes.
So this is your
overall checking of the
website testing. Okay. So what is GUI testing then? You will also check the GUI of website.
Yes.
So what you will consider?
Graphical unit interface.
Graphical user interface.
In that also we check the software graphically, means if the graphical part is showing properly or not.
Means the GUI is proper or not.
Yes.
Every control is properly visible, properly displayed. Tooltip you will check.
Yes.
You will check the tab index, alignment of controls, right? Okay, that is called as GUI testing. Okay. So Lily, tell me something about RTM. What is RTM?
RTM is requirement traceability matrix. Matrix is nothing but a report.
Okay,
so
it's a report.
It traces and maps the code or the design in requirements, and it delivers at the conclusion of the software development life cycle.
Okay.
It captures all the document in a single. It captures all the code or the program in a single document.
Okay. Okay. So Lily, what is Agile?
So Agile is a framework. Means Agile is a software methodology which is widely used, and in that in Agile we have different implementations like Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming.
Okay.
So in software testing we mainly do Scrum. In Agile team we have a client coordinator, testing team, then development team and BA. Business BA.
So you are talking about general terminologies of Agile. I want what are different roles in Scrum?
In Scrum, so different roles are means Scrum Master, Product Owner. Their role is to do what client wants.
Who is Product Owner?
Product Owner is nothing but client.
Okay, client.
The specification or the requirements of the client is a Product Owner.
And who is
Scrum Master is a coordinator who is going to handle all the program and who is going to guide all the people to do the specific requirements, whatever the code is.
So he will going to guide.
Yes.
Okay, he will tell us how to use Scrum, how to use Agile, right?
Yes.
Okay, and if there are any problems in that process, so he is going to solve that. Now, Agile development team.
Agile development team consists of development and testers.
Okay.
So in that they will they will check, the development and testing team will check whatever there is a problem and they will solve it in that.
Then what is sprint?
Sprints are the time box period in which the Agile or the team has to do its work.
Okay. So you release any part, right? Okay.
So first
usable part.
Parts.
Okay. And what is backlog? Sprint backlog?
Backlog are the list of requirements which the client has to consider.
And what are that user stories?
User stories are requirements and epics are unclear requirements.
Epics are unclear requirements. Okay, very good. So, okay. So what is the story point basically? So
first the Agile or the client needs first we will create the project or the program backlog by PO, which is product owner. Then the Scrum team will make sure that then the Scrum team will give them a time box period which is called as sprints. Then the Scrum team will assign them the Scrum team will give the set the priority of the project and tries to finish in the fixed time box called sprint.
Okay, very good. And what is that spring retrospective?
No, I'm not.
No, okay. Okay, so now what is the difference between V model and Agile model?
So V model is a time consuming model
What is V stands for?
V stands for verification and validation.
Okay.
And V helps to stop error multiplication, fault multiplication. It helps to stop the fault multiplication, but it takes times. In Agile, it is like the people are given certain works and everything is on time. Means the coordinator decides
time box fixed approach, right?
Fast development and communication is main important thing in that everyday daily calls are taken to minimize the errors.
So daily call means daily scrums.
Scrums are
meetings
taken.
Are there.
Meetings
okay, very good. So Lily, what is a test case basically?
Test case is a set of test case is any scenario that test case is any functionality that can be tested.
That is scenario, right? Scenario is any functionality that can be tested.
Any functionality and any.
What is test case basically?
Any
action?
Functionality that can
be set of actions.
Set of action to check any functionality.
Okay. Suppose if you want to write a test case, then what different parameters you will consider while writing a test case?
Means to check.
Test case के क्या parameters आप consider करोगे? Test case number, right?
Test case number, then priority, severity,
description of a test case,
summary,
expected result, right? Yes. Okay. And what is test script basically?
Test script is a detailed step-by-step instruction given to the compiler or the development team to check.
This test script is a step-by-step instructions and the detailed results are given,
right? Results of the program.
Okay. Thank you, Lily. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.